Let's talk about stuff that people don't want to talk about, that goes untalked about. We always hear comments or denials or assuming things that happen. We're going to talk about young ladies, for whatever reason, what they do impacts men. And it could happen to the women as well. Men, you can find very few men that may have done a woman like this, but it's very slim. What we're talking about is the uncomfortable stuff. The uncomfortable stuff is when you lie. You make up a storyline to make others believe your story, and it's so believable they fault the male. See, there's young ladies that may be raised in a Christian home, or they may not be raised in a Christian home, but they want their parents to have the appearance that they have not had sex. They want to give appearance to others that they are not sexually involved. Believe it or not, it's young ladies like that. Or they don't want to know that they have lost their innocence. And so sometimes it's something else deeper, because sometimes they will go to the extent and lie. And sometimes because either the parents have not explained it, or either the issues is at home. Sometimes it's due to low self-esteem. Sometimes it's emotional, mentally. There's sometimes young ladies may have mental illness or illusions to believe because they want to be something. Sometimes a person may want to be popular, so they'll do anything to make themselves be the center of attention. There's people that they thrive off attention, whether if it's the truth or a lie. Now, I'm talking about this because it affects a lot of males that don't read the mental mind, but read the body languages. They don't listen to what's being said, because a lot of times girls will appear that they're interested in you, and they will be interested in you, but if they have gotten caught, they will lie. There are some girls that feel embarrassed after they have done something that they know that was not right, and they can agree with the young man that they're interested in that person, and can seduce, and then they'll dummy back and say that they didn't seduce him. We're going to talk about this because this is very touchy. And usually in America, the court system jump on board of females, brother, on all levels, on every level, without understanding that some women will lie. Because see, the court system don't recognize a liar all the time, unfortunately. So we're going to dial it back to rape. See, some people will holler rape when it never was rape. If they was having sex with someone, they would tell someone, if somebody seen them doing it, or let's take sex out of, we're going to take the intercourse out and just say, oh, they were kissing and hugging, and they got caught by someone that they didn't want them to know. What sometimes these young ladies do, they will lie and turn around and say, he forced himself on me. I didn't want him to do that to me. He raped me. Because this is a movement that they wanted more than the boy. A lot of times, not all the times, but most of the times, some young ladies will say that they got raped, and they did not. Sometimes they initiate the sexual activity when the boy's interest was never intended to have sex. But as soon as that young man obliged her, later, if she felt like she got caught, or if someone told it on her, or someone seen it, or someone noticed something different about her, either they don't have to. Sometimes some young ladies are vindictive, and it's in their spirits to lie. They have an evil spirit, so they will say, he raped me, and they'll make up a whole big old story and say they raped. Some of these young ladies will sleep with their sisters, boyfriends, and holler rape. Their husbands, their cousins, dads, and everything. Now, I'm not taking away that they should know better, but I'm going to talk about, because those older people should know better. But what I'm talking about, if they're in the same age range, a lot of young men get blamed for things that they didn't do because they made poor choices in the first place. See, sometimes when the occasion comes, they want to feel important, and they want to assert their opinion about someone in a group of people. They'll throw in, oh, he raped me, so they can be the center of the attention. See, you have different type of ladies. And see, young ladies, you have to, and little girls, you got to understand that there's different personalities in different degrees. Some, you have those that are attention getters. They want all the attention. So if something is happening to someone, they're going to insert a storyline to make them the center of the attention and the focus turning on them, knowing what they're saying is untrue. And when you look back, they have a history of doing men like that. But later on, they'll have babies by older men because they have daddy issues. And sometimes they have mama issues, and they comes from homes of abuse. Whether it's physically, mentally, whatever the case may be. And then you have those that just lie just because they lie. You don't have to come from a bad background. They just lie just because. You have people that do that. You have females that lie just to be lying. I'm not taking away from those that have been raped, honestly. I'm talking about the ones that will lie and say that they're raped, and knowing that they engage in consent of sexual activity, but they don't want to be targeted as having sex with anyone because they trying to make themselves look innocent in front of their parents, especially their father or their mother, especially most of the time if they come from a somewhat Christian home. And I say somewhat because Christian homes are overrated all the time. Sometimes the action is overrated, the whole thing. And a lot of times Christian families lose focus of their children because they forget that their kids need to be attended because they're so busy trying to attend other people. You don't hear me. And how it becomes dangerous because these young girls mess up young boys, young men, and men lives because they sexually seduces the male. And then after they consent to the sex, soon as someone caught them or seen them, or as an old saying, some older women are wiser, and if God gave them a gift to see that your body has changed. If a mother is attentive, she can tell when the child's body has changed. There's no excuse. So that got a lot to do with spiritual growth, as well as being attentive to your child, knowing when she is changing. But if you're not paying attention to her body and her body language, then you're not going to notice that how her body and features have changed when she has been touched. But the thing is, when they admit that they have been touched, they usually say that he raped me. I didn't want to do it. Because they want this family to make them feel that they're still the same little girls. Those are dangerous girls. So young men, you need to pay attention and listen and do your research before you even engage. Some girls, they tend to try to come on to even their relatives. And this is a sign of pre-sexual abuse. They have been sexually touched by someone else sometimes. That's just a train of thought. But we need to be more attentive.